I think you see a guy who's worked extremely hard. He's always behind the play. He's always repeating the plays. He's a poised guy when he goes into the huddle. Several of the players in the game last week when he had to go in just felt good about his presence in the huddle. Those guys can feel that when you go in there and you call the play with confidence and give guys a feeling like, hey, this guy's on top of it, knows what he's doing, and threw a good couple of passes in there as well. Got a couple completions, got a third down conversion. So remains to be seen in a full game. What it's going to look like, but we feel confident that he's put in the work to give him the best opportunity possible.
How much responsibility do you guys take as a staff to kind of put together a game plan that suits what he can do and accomplish?
A lot. I mean, I think it's definitely part of our job to, whatever position, but particularly the quarterback position, to come up with a plan that suits him, not only his ability, but just understanding this is going to be his first start in a real game, and making sure that the plan is tight enough and that he can have some ownership of it, and by the end of the week, hopefully feel like he's locked in on everything he needs to do, whether it's reads or protections or canning plays in the run game, changing plays at the line of scrimmage, all those types of things. We don't want to overload him. We put a lot on Kirk Cousins, a veteran like him, and I think he would tell you the same. But it was because we knew he could handle it with his preparation and his experience. So it won't be quite to that extent with Jaren, but there's still a lot on any NFL quarterback. Starting a game and mastering a game plan, it's like cramming for a test. So he'll have his work cut out for him, but we'll do our part to help.
Yeah, Wes, how much more important does the run game become just to help out any quarterback, whoever's starting for you?
I would like to say that the run game would help alleviate the stress on any quarterback. I'm sure Tom Brady liked it when the run game was rolling when he was playing. So. But it does become that much more critical when you're thinking about putting a young quarterback in third and long type situations. If you can have that early down success, stay out of some third downs, stay out of particularly the third and longer situations where you've got to have some longer developing concepts and hold the ball a little bit longer trying to convert. So. It's going to be big for us. This is a good defense. This Atlanta Falcons defense. They're well coached. They're sound. They don't give up a lot of big plays. They don't give up a lot of touchdowns in the red zone. They do a lot of the things that kind of winning teams do on defense. So they have a lot of quarterback knockdowns, all those types of things that we've got to be aware of and come up with a great plan.
Have you gotten a sense yet with Jaren, maybe from pre-draft discussions with him at all, of what he'll be like in terms of the game planning process? Talk about what he likes, what he doesn't like. How much have you gotten a sense of what he'll be like to work with there?
I think we have some sense of, those guys will give favorites for the game plans, even the guys, even Jaren, just kind of week to week, it's kind of going through that process as if you were playing the game. So, I mean, we have a sense of some of the concepts that he's thrown well, whether it be training camp or things he's liked throughout practice. But any input, even from a young guy, any input throughout the week only helps us. We don't want to call plays that the quarterback doesn't feel good about executing. So his communication has been very, very good since we've had him here. So fully expect that he'll come forward with any information that can help us as far as what to call and how to help him.
When he was drafted, there was so much discussion, I know, from the scouting department about his sort of intangibles and the way he was as a leader and in the film during the scouting combine. I mean, to what extent do you think that those sort of attributes help in a week like this where a lot's gonna be flying and, you know, until today, like, you didn't even know who was gonna be in the room with him necessarily, and so, like, how do you think, like, or what have you seen already from him that could sort of smooth the edges here this week?
I think Jaren has a nice maturity about him, and it's not always the guys that are maybe a little bit older and married and have a kid already, but it certainly helps. I think, you know, it just he's not a wild man. He's about football and family and faith, and he's a very grounded individual. So, you know, I don't think that he's going to really be distracted by outside noise or pressures, those types of things. I think he's the type of guy that's going to just put his head down and work and lock in on the game plan.
Wes, how much do you know about Josh Dobbs? I mean, obviously, you kind of, it's the whole whirlwind thing, but do you have any sort of connection in the past, or have you evaluated him in the past?
I have not in the past, you know, watched him a little bit today, but I have been impressed by whether it was last year in Tennessee coming in, you know, last second and playing football games and having some success in games, and then I believe it was the end of August that he gets picked up by Arizona, ends up starting for 7 games now for them, and really had some very competitive plays and throws and used his legs to convert some first downs, and I think scored a few touchdowns with his legs. So, you know, the MO on him is he's a very smart guy, and I can certainly see the competitor on the field, and so it's a good guy to bring into the room, and from all accounts, just a really great guy.
What do you think made you guys so successful these last 2 weeks on 3rd and long?
I think, you know, Kirk really has been playing lights out the last few games, and I think it's kind of a combination of Kirk, our players, some of the scheme, just the ownership across the board. There were some complex type plays, 2 plays in the huddle, all those types of things with some different motions, and I thought our players really handled it well. They went out, they executed, and some of it, particularly on the road with Kirk, where he's got to give the signal for the snap and send the motion and all those things that you know, and it just, you know, if I could just say about Kirk, you know, I mean, one of the things that I'll just really miss about Kirk is just it can be hard during the week, and especially that first time you get the 3rd down plan and the first time we rep it. But the one thing, even going back to Washington, I always felt like by Saturday, if you just give him the time throughout the week to process it all, that he was going to be absolutely locked in and know the plan. And you always felt good going into the game. The results are going to be the results, but you always knew that Kirk was going to do his part and be ready. I just appreciate him a ton for the player he has been and for the man he is and his work ethic. But yeah, we'll have to. Jaren has a good role model, you know, to have watched throughout this time. So I know he'll follow his lead.
How much do you keep Kirk kind of in that process as being a kind of an active role model for Jaren and for Josh here?
Well, obviously with, you know, what's going on medically, I mean, I know he's going to have some time away, but really as much as he wants to be involved and around, you know, our doors are certainly always open to him, and really it's more his doors than my door. So, you know, he lets me come in the building. So, as much as he wants to be around, and I know he wants to stay involved and help Jaren, and we certainly welcome that.
Wes, when you guys were 0-3, Kevin said something to the extent that he was always going to stay on the positive and optimistic side, and of course, you know, he's doing the same thing through this. I guess what is the value of that disposition that he has had when there's so much going on adversity wise?
I think number one, I think that's Kevin in general. You know, he's not a pessimistic guy. He's an incredible leader. I think, you know, leading from out in front and the things that he says is what he does. Secondly, I just think we have to live in the reality, live in the new reality, and this is what it is. And as coaches, it's our job to find solutions, solve problems, overcome all those types of things. And the players, no matter what happens, these guys go out there. They expect to win football games. They want to compete. They want to win, and that's what we want. And we're just going to continue pushing in that direction, whatever happens, and we're not going to lose that.
Thanks.
Thanks.